let's go ahead and check for sound. The one I wanted to compare or have a baseline to is this LV4C. This is one of the cheaper lavaliers that you can buy. It is $40. I just wanted to hear the difference between this microphone, this $40 microphone, and a wireless Shure system. And so the BLX4 is the one I'm going to compare it to directly. I'm just curious to see how this sounds compared to everything else. Another note I'll mention, I have 7 microphones in front of me. I'm going to be reviewing these 7 microphones, the differences between a dual ear and a single ear, and the sound quality across all 7 of these different microphones. I guess 8 with this one. And we'll see which one of them sounds the best in a quieter situation like we are here in the studio at my house, or in a noisy environment, which we'll go to next. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the review on this LV4-C. Okay, so this Movo is XLR based. The cabling itself, you know, it's not anything fancy. It doesn't seem like heavy duty. It's kind of the cheaper rubber plastic coating that you would get. I go ahead and wrap this over and clip the microphone in like that. And so let's go ahead and remove the windscreen just so you can see the head of this microphone. It's decent sized. It's not something you're going to be able to hide very easily. And so obviously the clip is reversible. You can pull it off and do whatever with it. And the cable itself is about 6.5, 7 feet. So it's a good sized cable. The main concerns I would have for this cable is it getting damaged towards the butt here, and the quality of the sound, of course. So lavaliers are definitely not my favorite kind of microphone. I prefer a boom as much as possible, but there are some situations where you have to do a lavalier, and you clip it on the shirt and that's it. So my pet peeve, please help me change the world by moving to this more often. Let's make sure our lavalier cables themselves are tucked under the shirt. I can't stand it when the shirt has the wire exposed and it's really obvious. It just shows laziness and it drives me nuts. Most people don't care, I guess. I guess some of us do. If you do care, leave a comment below and support me in the movement to keep people from exposing that stupid wire in their video. Okay, on to the sound check. Hello folks, so we're gonna do this mic check. This is the Shure wireless BLX system. This is the BLX1, I believe. Yes. So this transmitter has this $40 lav, and this is what I've been using for a lot of corporate projects. And so this is kind of the default. Now, here's a lav on me. I ran it down my shirt, and obviously as I look down, as I look around, the sound changes. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why I would like to move away from the lavalier microphone to a headset lav, is the peripheral sounds that happen, but also obviously going up and down, and then the noise environment sound. So as you can see, I'm just rubbing my belly, my chest, and whatever. This microphone is not the best microphone. So at least you have a little bit of a base of what the Shure BLX1 sounds like with this $40 lav. There is an $80 version, which I don't have, but I plan to possibly get that. But let's move on up. Let's listen to what some of these headset lavs sound like. And also let's also listen to the Movo and see how this sounds, this wired lav. That way we can hear the difference between this lav and the wireless lav. Checking. Okay, hey everybody. So this is the $40 wired lav. So this is connected under my shirt to the camera. And so hopefully you can hear a difference between this lavalier and the other one as I turn my head, as I talk up and down. Obviously with lapel mics, you're going to get that sound on changing when you look down, when your chin goes down or up, depending on that. And so that's one of the weaknesses of a lav. But this is just an audio test. Let me try. So there's a lot less pickup that's happening. You still hear it a little bit, but it's not as bad as the wireless lav. That one picked up a lot of noise everywhere it picked up a lot of noise. All right, let's try some headsets. Okay, so one of the first things you'll notice is this one is clipping really heavy. This is the HSM3. So, oh man, I'm gonna have to try to play with some settings. My original hope was that this microphone would be good because the HSM3 was my favorite for wearability and the dual headset and stuff. Obviously with this clipping, I'm going to have to adjust some settings. My hope was to try to keep all the levels the same, but there's just no way I can do that and have this microphone sound any sort of good when it clips and distorts like that. So let me change some settings and we'll come back to it and we'll see what happens. So I changed the gain structure a little bit. It's actually on the transmitter itself. So for these lavaliers, the gain power has to be, there's a dial on the transmitter itself. And so the gain for this transmitter had to be turned way down. With a lavalier, with this setup, I have it 3/4 of the way up. And then on this headset, it is turned down to about 1/4. So huge gain change. I turned up the volume in the internal of the camera. I'm trying to keep the level about the same throughout the whole thing. So we'll see how these other mics perform and see how it sounds comparatively. Obviously, mic placement's huge. When I say my S's and stuff, sometimes like right there, I'll hit a explosive. Hello, explode. The P's and T's. Sometimes will distort. So I'm just kind of adjusting the microphone. I'm sorry you have to hear all this nastiness, but that's part of this audio check, is to try to get it to sound as good as possible. And so this is kind of where I'm at. Sometimes I'm getting those little the garbles that are happening. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go back and throw on a windscreen to see if it knocks down those sounds. If I have to use a windscreen with this to make it sound good, then that's not a good thing. And I don't like the way it sounds when I'm hitting my S's and my P's and my M's because it's cutting out. And it's a good thing I have these nice headphones to try to see the difference and hear the difference. So let me throw on a windscreen. Okay, so we're back with the windscreen on, and I think it's sounding much better. There are some little adjustments I probably want to make. The audio is obviously sounding pretty good. I mean, the S's and the P's are muted with this now piece that I have on. So I hate to say it. Let me try it without the headset too. Maybe that's part of it too, is because it pushes against my head a little differently. But I was hoping to go without this little piece here. But it sounds like for this particular model, if you bought the HSM3, I would highly recommend wearing the little windscreen because I think it does make a huge difference in the sound quality just by hearing it in my headphones. So let's see. This is the first microphone. We got 7 more to try. Let's see how this sounds compared to some of the other ones. Hello, checking. Hey everybody. So this is the HSM8. This is what the HSM8 sounds like. I think it's a little crisper, a little clearer. It might be a higher quality microphone. You can probably see the spec sheet. You'll know which one's which by now. The explosives, the P's and the S's aren't very prominent in this one, which is nice. So it's nice and a subtle mic. I heard a little bit right there, that little S, where you can hear it somewhat, some sort of. So this microphone so far sounds a little bit better than the HSM3. But yeah, I bet you it sounds even better with the windscreen. That's probably what these are designed to have, is the little windscreen on them. Just like on the lavaliers. It just helps with those explosives, if that's the right term. Let me try this without the headset. And again, this just matches my face really well, and I can walk around and do different things. I'm on a wireless system, so I could walk like 300 feet, and this would still sound amazing anywhere I am within that 300-foot radius, which is awesome. So I could barely feel like it's on. I mean, it's just really low profile. It's really small. This is quite a powerful microphone for $200, I believe that this one is. This would be my guess of the most expensive one, if I remember correctly. I'll go ahead and cheat, and I'll go ahead and look after I'm done looking at all these microphones and give you a final review. So this is the HSM8 with the windscreen, so you can see kind of how that looks like on my face. Obviously, adding the windscreen just kind of bulks it up, but the S's and the P's, the explosives, you know the word I'm trying to say, they sound better with the little windscreen. So maybe that's how these mics are designed. But the P's and the S's and stuff, it sounds pretty clear. I am going to do an AC test and try the same thing, do another run of these mics with the AC on, and then we're going to go in a noisy environment and see how it sounds out in the real world. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is the Mic J. We're going to have similar sounds, check, with the P's and S's to the SM3. So it sounds closer to the SM3 than the SM8, just by first impressions, just by hearing myself talk to the mic. Now, so far in the 3 headset mics that we've tested, all of the levels are the same. So, the gain structure for this particular setting works well. So I just know with the Shure BLX1 body pack, I need to turn the gain down on the transmitter before it hits the receiver so that it doesn't distort through the system. I tried a peak test earlier and it will distort at certain heights, at certain loudnesses. So I will have to kind of balance and adjust as I go throughout that system. And right now on the camera in manual mode, it's only at about 3 or 4 on the whole dial. So there is definitely range on the top end as far as adding to it. And you heard those explosives. Plosives is the word I was thinking of. Plosives, the striking sound. So this is what the Mic J sounds like. It's actually not too bad. I think it was the cheaper one of the 3. Let me try this out. If the other ones require a windscreen, then I'm going to try the windscreen on this one and see how it sounds. Okay, so here we are with the Mic J. I'm going to choke up this a little bit. This way, yes. Checking. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Hello, explosives, plosives. Hello. So this is what it sounds like with the windscreen on. So again, I hate to say it, but I think these microphones have to have the windscreen on it. Funny that. I think it's better with it, especially with the plosives. I finally got it right. So just so you know, the microphones feel very similar. Pressure and faces. I feel like out of the 3, even though this may be the cheapest one, the comfort on it is really solid. And let's go ahead and take a quick look of these 3 microphones with the heads on them. And honestly, like the shape and the look, it's not about the look of it at all. It's not about the comfort. They're all very similar. What comes down to me, it would be like the build quality and the audio sound, obviously. So you want to pick the microphone that you think sounds the best. For me, I'm not going to be able to know until I hit post. For my initial guess, the HSM8 does sound better than the other 2. Maybe I'm biased because I'm thinking about price ahead of time. But I don't know. Maybe this mic was okay. We're never going to know unless I kept all of these mics and tested them all for years to see which one would die first. And even at that, I would want to have multiple of each one of them to see which one would last and if it's not just a one-off thing of an error and that kind of thing. So let's move on. This is what the HSM3 sounds like with the audio noise in the background. And this is what it sounds like from my H5. This is what it sounds like from the HSM3. Okay, folks, this is the HSM8 with the noise in the background, the AC in the background from the room. All right, folks, this is the Mic J5 with the AC in the background. Mic J5, AC in the background. Keep in mind, if everything goes well tonight, I'm going to be going to a venue with a real environment and a real scenario where I'm going to be able to test multiple mics and see how they sound, to see how they come out in a real world noisy environment. That way we can hear the difference between the different people and the different environment. The only caveat with that particular setup is that I'm going to have to put the microphones on men and women, so it's not going to be coming from the same voice, the same person, but you'll be able to hear it from various differences. So hopefully this test here, this first test comparing these mics directly, will let you know which sound you prefer, and then hopefully in the real world environment we'll be able to tell which microphone you prefer in a noisy environment too. The input on the board is 28 decibels. So coming through, it's nice and clear. This is microphone number 1 in the blind test. Check. Let's go to 2. So this is microphone number 2. Obviously the drop in level there, quieter sounding. Checking microphone number 2. So this is microphone number 3. This is loud. Wow. It is nice and strong coming through. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Okay. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Let's do the multi-track recording. Hello. Checking. Yes. Okay, cool. So now we're running a multi-track recorder. Check. Hello. Nothing is peaking in the meters here. I'm going to go on camera. Okay, so now we're running all the channels at the same time. So I can hear myself through 3 mics going through the system. This is just for me to test and be able to balance it later. So that way I have all 3 of these microphones. I know this bottom one. Hold on. Sorry, future self. So now we have 3 microphones there, picking up noise from my mouth. I know this is not ideal. There we go. Hello. So now we have all 3 microphones picking up my mouth, picking up me talking, and then I can kind of balance that in. I'm going to talk for about 30-45 seconds here, and then I'm going to go back to the board, play that back, keep recording on my camera as I'm mixing. So this future clip of me mixing and setting parameters and everything is going to be me listening to each individual microphone, setting some EQ settings, putting in a low pass filter, putting in a noise gate to try to balance out all three of these mics to see how they sound from a professional mixer, trying to balance in professional tools to make the sound great. Make the sound great, minus my burping and hiccuping and stuff. So I'm going to leave all three mics the way they are, 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to know which one's which until I test them, until I finish my balancing test. I'll pick a winner of those 3, the blind sound test, and then I'll tell you which one of those 3 I thought was the best sounding microphones. Was it number 1? Was it this sounding microphone? Did you like the way this sounded after it's all balanced out? This is how it sounds when I'm done doing my mix. Is it microphone number 2? This is how mic 2 sounds after the mix, after everything's done. And this is microphone 3. Which one of these 3 to you sounds the best? I'll let you know as I am mixing and dialing these in, and we'll see. So let's go over to the mixer. Okay, guys, final verdict. What it comes down to, microphone 1, I think, had the worst sound overall. I didn't like the clarity of it. 2 and 3 were very, very close. With microphone 2, it just seemed like there was some high frequencies in there that had some kind of high, like, hissing kind of going on. I was able to isolate it a little bit, and honestly, it wasn't too crazy bad. 3, I think, was the best sounding. It was really close between 2 and 3, but if I had to pick one, 3 was definitely the cleanest sounding microphone out of all 3 of those double ear ones. It didn't have any high issues with the higher frequencies. It just sounded great overall. So now that that blind test is over, let's go ahead and look at all 3 microphones and see which one was which. So that's 2 and 3. So number 1, oh yes, let me also mention number 2, also I had to boost some gain. So it's going to be protecting the high ends when stuff gets a little louder. You have a lot more gain before it clips, it seems like. So that's a little bit of protection on number 2 compared to 3 and 1. 1 and 3 were very, very close in the gain and the amount of output those microphones were picking up right away. Okay, so microphone 1. Which one are you? Mike J is microphone 1. Wow. So Mike J, I don't know where you sit price-wise. You know what? Let's look at it. Let's do the final verdict based off of this setup here. Sorry. So Mike J, you are number 1. Let me see. Let's pull it up on Amazon and see what I priced. So Mike J at $46. Not too bad. I would actually consider this microphone. Caveats to this one. I mean, it fit right in. I mean, it wasn't quite as good as the other 2 microphones as far as sound quality goes, but for $46, this is a decent microphone. And Mike J, $46. It's hard to beat. Let's move on. So microphone 2, this one had less response, but actually is better without that extra response because you're protecting the high ends from clipping. These microphones all run really, really hot, and I had to turn down the gain on all 3 of my transmitters. This one is, drumroll please, HSM8. HSM8 was number 2. So I guess, man, that's a tough one because you get that extra gain protection on the high ends. HSM8, what were you price-wise? HSM8, this is a $200, this is the most expensive microphone. Ooh, I don't know if I can go with you, man. I think HSM3 sounded just as good. The high end, remember, you have a little bit more gain protection, but that high end frequency kind of killed you. So, next one up, this might be the winner. HSM3 was my favorite sounding one. HSM3 is $100, $99. So this one also comes with 4 extra wires. Make sure you pick out the right one so they fit the plug that you want. But I think out of the 3 dual ear headsets, if I had to pick one without doing the field test, this would be the one. Even after the field test, my results were the same. I think this is my favorite one. Maybe after the field test, there'll be a different result. This is what I think for the different result after the field test. Being $50, $100, or $200, I would pick the mid-grade one. That was my favorite sounding mic, and overall, I think $100 for a headset is worth the money. You could go cheaper and do the $46 headphones, But I think just having them all in the same one, I'm going to go ahead and buy 6 of those HSM3s. Let's do a field test. Hello, this is a test recording. I just wanted to make a note to myself for the future. The first microphone we just heard Bradley on was the Mic J. That one's going to go over to Adam, and then he's going to be testing the one I'm on now, which is the HSM3.
It's like, where's Allison? We need to start the game. We're looking all over for. Oh, she's in the treehouse. Of course she is. How do you like how this sounds, Noah? Does the velvety tones of my voice, does it satisfy?
All right, folks, and just because I'm here, this is the $40 wired lavalier. I can't walk very far, obviously, but this is the $40 wired lav to hear the difference between the sound quality between this and the other microphones. All I did was add phantom power, and I left the level the same, which is 35 decibels of gain, and that was across all of those, the checks there. So, powering off.
It's been super chill. I love playing at this table, too. It's beautiful. I'm Allison, by the way. Sorry. Nice to meet you. No, Ellen was cool. She wasn't what I wanted for her, though, because, like, I originally played with Lucas's brother was our DM first, and he was very into, like, competitive D&D at, like, conventions and stuff like that, and he was like, you have to use one of these races and join one of these guilds, and I was like...
We have Dom working tonight, and Liv's still tragically in Northern California, but the two of them were sorority sisters, so I'm banking off that energy. And then, oh, my bad.
I just made a $1,200 dice purchase.
What?
So we're gonna have all of our retail like fully stocked.
I did want to ask about a couple of things over there. No, is it okay if I walk around with this, or do I need to stay here? Okay. I want to see some of the stuff that you got here, just real quick.